Swing at the World family, what is up, y'all? We back one more again. Happy New Year. We missed you for just a little bit. Been a lot of things going on. We wanted to give you a break so you would miss us more. Now we're back. Going to take a swing at the world. You may notice two things. Man in the mirror, the muscle of the podcast is sick. Get well soon, man in the mirror. He's got the flu. Usually, man, he holds up pretty well to being sick, but he just could not drag it out of bed today. So we say rest up. We missed you in the gym, and we'll beat you up next week. And we have Streetbeefs Brawler, Streetbeefs Scrapper, Savage Big Rig. Okay, Big Rig, what's up? Glad to have you. So Big Rig, you know, I'll start out by saying he's fought with us several times in several different ways. Am I correct in saying you've done MMA, bare knuckle, and boxing?
Just boxing and bare knuckle. I haven't done MMA yet.
Okay. Yeah. So he's boxed and done bare knuckle in the Street Beef yard.
Hey, you know that bare knuckle was with your friend, right?
Yeah.
Best friend.
I wonder how the drive back was.
Yeah, he was asleep.
Oh,
Yeah.
The whole way back. The winner had a drive.
Now,
that's fair.
how did that come about that you guys agreed to do a bare knuckle fight?
Well, I was in barber school at the time, and if I ain't mistaken, I was trying to find a bare knuckle tag team.
Yep.
And I had somebody, but they ended up not making it, and then he was going to do it, but then the other tag team didn't show up, so me and him decided to...
Said to hell with it.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we did it up there.
Now, you're out of Dub V.
Yeah.
What part?
Sophia, more like the Beckley area.
Beckley, down near Charleston, all that. Big Rig, how did you get into fighting, into liking fighting?
I fought a lot growing up, having anger problems and stuff, and I'm not blaming nobody, but if I would have been shown boxing, I felt like a lot sooner, maybe a lot of my anger and mental problems would have been simmered down more sooner than they was. But once I got into it, I wanted to humble myself and not kind of be such an ass.
Well, you know what? That's a good take, because boxing and MMA has saved a lot of lives, man. You know, young guys that are hotheads have went into the gym and came out men, you know. So
I started out 0-4, so...
Well, listen.
So humbled me quick.
I'll tell you this. He says he started out 0-4, but you watch his fights. He's a dog. He goes out there. He goes to war, and he loves to fight. And the competition that comes through Street Beefs is not easy. See, the mistake that gets made is a lot of people see it and they think, well, it's a bunch of guys in the backyard. Listen, we got people traveling to the yard that have won Golden Gloves. We got people that have won national wrestling contests. We got people that have brown belts and black belts in jiu-jitsu. We got people that have amateur MMA belts. We got multi-Golden Gloves winners. I can name more. The point is, these guys, a lot of them are not just bums off the street. So a guy like Big Rig comes in and he wants to test himself, and he's not looking for easy fights, you know. What's your ultimate goal with fighting? Are you looking to go to the next level, or are you just getting your frustration out?
I feel like most boxers' dreams is to be that world champion one day, so that's
right.
That's the main goal.
Now, how old are you?
24.
So you got all the time in the world, and you know, I tell you, it's funny. I was just talking about another guy. And now I'm gonna forget his name. He's out of Britain. He's a modern boxer. He didn't start till he was 30. This man did not start boxing till he was 30. Picked it up, and he actually won a world title. So, you know, it's never too late to get out there and try to chase your dream. You know,
Well, we seen George Foreman hitting the bag. That was scary.
When he was 70?
Yeah, that was scary.
I saw that.
I'm glad you brought that up, because listen, this to me is not sports. It is sports, but it ain't. But we're going to talk about this to lead off the podcast today. So I posted a video of 70-plus-year-old George Foreman hitting the heavy bag. Well, immediately, I seen a couple scattered comments. Oh no, that's not really him. And what happened, they switched his son in there. His son Monk went in, and he's the one that did it. It wasn't George Foreman. So now, the people that were making these comments were stating it as if it was a fact. Oh no, that's not him. So the one guy came on my post, I said, do you know this? Or are you just speculate. He said, oh, no, I'm just speculating. But you stated it as if it's a fact, you know? And what? Well, I just don't believe he could hit the bag like that. Listen, dude, this is George Foreman. You may forget, at 46 years old, he was knocking Bamas out. He won the world title. That was at 46. You think he still can't, at 70, bang a heavy bag hard? You're wrong. Did any of you guys see the video? Did you see it?
Yeah, I seen it. Yeah.
Did you get a chance to see it?
The sound of those punches on the bag was ridiculous.
I mean, yeah.
I wouldn't want that.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, George Foreman, everybody knows he's my sports idol. Him and Sonny Liston are like this with me. And I'm going to tell you, they were training partners too, Sonny and George. And George is one of those dudes that just barely glance you with a punch and you're going night-night, okay? I always tell this story because it's my favorite boxing story ever. He boxed Evander Holyfield. Now, mind you, Holyfield was a young thoroughbred, late 20s, in his prime. Foreman was 45. Gets in the ring. Holyfield goes back to his corner. He said, did he knock all my teeth out? He said, I think all my teeth are gone. This is how hard 46-year-old Foreman hit. Knocked him, hit him so hard he thought his teeth were gone. But I believe the video was real. This goes back to a discussion we had where we said a UFO could land on the front yard, we could film it, and there would be people saying it was fake. I mean, do you guys notice the trend where people see shit, and even with the videos, they all say, hey, I think that's fake, you know?
It's a bunch of hating people out here, man. They don't want to see George Foreman at 70 plus still in shape doing good.
They don't want to believe
They're not
it.
in shape doing good.
Well, yeah, listen, I was talking to Esteban about this the other day, and I said, listen, you know, at my age, in my 40s, you don't know how rare it is just for a guy my age to be in the gym sparring with a bunch of young boys. And FYI, I don't just go in there to get beat up. I go in there to do a little beating too. And I'm 40-something, all right? There's guys that are in their 30s talking about life's over. So those are the type that are saying it couldn't be Foreman, so on and so forth, you know? But shout out to Big George, inspiration to me. There was another video, and I posted this too. It was a 70-year-old man, and he was just working, throwing combos on the bag. He looked good, you know? You guys ever heard the saying, use it or lose it?
Yeah.
You know that saying?
Yeah.
So it's a real theory, and it's basically this. As we get older, you know, back when you were young, it was kind of the myth that once you got 60 or 70, you were just going to get old, you were going to be washed up, and you couldn't take care of yourself, and you walk with a cane. What they found out is those older people that stayed active maintained some of their ability, you know, whereas the ones that didn't exercise at all, didn't strength train, well, they became old and invalid. So, you know, stay in shape. Don't judge George and the rest of the old people. Match them.
Hey, George, man, send us a grill.
Hey, send me an autographed glove. I'll go straight fanboy. I know you guys have heard about the situation with Donald Trump. He's getting basically banned from running.
In Colorado, right? Or was it just
Colorado?
Basically in general, though.
Well, I think there was another state as well, and I can't remember what it was. But there's one other state on the East Coast that either banned him or attempted to ban him. Here's my thoughts. I'm going to give my thoughts, and then I want to get each and every one of y'all's thoughts. So, look, I don't like Donald Trump. I'll start there. I'll be upfront with you guys. I don't like him. I think he's a shyster. I think it's hilarious how a bunch of working men throw their fist up. Yeah, Trump's for the people. This man is a billionaire. He don't give a fuck about you and your Ford truck and your trailer. He don't care. He does not care about you. Trust me. Am I saying Democrats care? No. But Donald Trump don't care. But the point is, even though I don't like it, I don't think he should be banned from running as president.
It almost seems unfair, right?
Well, it's political assassination.
Well, that's...
Is it not?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if you believe he's that bad of a candidate, let him run and prove it. They're saying because he's been, which, okay, I get it. They're saying, hey, this guy's been convicted of a dishonest act, therefore we can't let him run as a politician.
I'm not getting it, yeah.
Or no, he hasn't been convicted, excuse me. Excuse me.
Accused, right?
He's been accused of a dishonest act. He's under indictment, and we don't want somebody like that running for our country. But in fairness, in America, you're innocent until proven
That's
guilty.
what I was about to say, right? It seems like almost the opposite nowadays. People,
Right.
you know.
Well, it's always been that. It's always been that.
Yeah.
Big Rig, you ever been in trouble?
No, not yet.
Good man.
Well, hey,
Good
not
man.
ever, right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
You guys see that? A lot of our fighters, he's like the third fighter I've asked if they've been in trouble, and they've said no. And I'm not saying it's because of street beefs, I'm saying it's because of martial arts. These guys are usually able to keep focus. So, are you a Trump supporter or no?
I really don't follow politics like that, but
Gotcha.
I just try to stay away from it.
What do you think of them attempting to ban him from running, or do you
I
have
kind of like what y'all was saying, like if innocent till proven guilty, but also, you know, if he's that bad,
Right.
let it see it.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line is this. If somebody's not a good candidate, are you saying that we're too dumb as Americans to see that? Like, let him run. Let us vote. Everybody knows he's under indictment, and let him get him out. But I think they're scared because we seen the last time. Look, I remember when he ran, I guess it was against Hillary. I don't know.
I think it was something like that.
Bruh,
He roasted the shit out of her, too.
he roasted her. Look, everybody thought he was going to win. I mean, thought she was going to win.
Yeah.
I was talking with this dude who I actually don't fuck with now, but he was real into politics, and he was like, man, there's no way. Donald Trump has no chance. As the election got closer, I was like, dude, this is looking scary.
Yeah.
He was like, no. When I woke up the next day and seen that Trump won, I was like, what? So I think some of these politicians are having flashbacks, thinking that he might pull it off again, you know, but give the man a chance.
Maybe
He hasn't been
do a better
convicted.
job of checks and balances. You know, we got to just pull it together as a team and just really make sure we're crossing off all the T's here. You know.
Well, you can't just systematically ban somebody. Give them the chance and let the people decide. I believe in the American people. I think we're intelligent enough to make the right decision.
We're the best of the best.
The best of the best. Remember that.
I will say I think we're going to end up with a different president this time.
I do too.
I know motherfuckers ain't voting for Biden.
No, Biden is assed out. I do not believe that for 1 minute. There was a lightning strike on Columbia on the beach. Now, we'll splice this clip in because it's not so graphic that we can't show it. But you see a young lady, or well, I don't think she's young, she was a middle-aged lady, down on the beach, just kind of, you know, messing around like people would on the beach, and you see it clear as day, a big bolt of lightning. And it's a bright, sunny day. That's what, yeah, it's a bright, sunny
I was
day.
about to ask, what was the weather like? Storming or
It didn't appear like it to me, okay?
heat lightning, maybe?
Maybe. I mean, if you look there, it don't look like the sky is bad.
Hell no.
You know?
That don't look bad at all.
So she's there frolicking near the water, and bam! This massive bolt of lightning hits her. First of all, you know, rest the dead. Let's start with that. I don't want anybody to think I'm making light of it. But you gotta think, man, some
Did it pull through?
No, she died.
Oh.
It killed her. Yeah, it killed her. If you've seen it, it was a massive bolt of lightning. But, you know, first of all, you'd have to be looking around like, damn, she was on a sunny beach in the middle of the daytime, no rain, and she gets hit by lightning. That's not fate. I don't know what is. Have you guys ever seen lightning strike close to you?
Nah, like out in the water. You know, when we were at the beach, we seen lightning right out there in the
There was
water.
a big storm, at least 5 or 6 bolts.
But they said my grandfather, he actually got like hit with lightning in the leg, went through his leg, and then hit another man and killed him.
Oh, my goodness.
That's the story they said, yeah.
Damn.
That
Well,
would've been
I didn't even
more.
know that could happen.
That's what I was
wild.
saying.
you know, there was a guy, I'm going to tell you 2 stories about lightning. There was a guy who had a quarter in his back pocket, and lightning struck him right on that quarter in his back pocket. He said that it felt like a mule kicking him in his butt. That's what he said. Now, I don't know how true it was.
Wow.
But there was another dude. Look this up. Now, my numbers will probably be a little off. I believe he was struck 7 different times by lightning. Okay?
I think I know the dude you're talking about.
Yeah.
heard of that.
Guinness Book of World Records struck 7 different times by
The
lightning.
record I would
Yeah,
No, at some point I'm like, I'm not going outside. Sorry, I'm inside from now on.
How many times do you think you can get out of work with that?
For real.
Well, look, once I've been struck 5 times, I'm gonna be calling work. Yo, look, I got hit today. I see lightning outside. I'm not coming in.
I got work
not
from home.
believing you at that point.
Yeah. Well, when I first read it, I was like, there's got to be some bullshit involved. Because I used to read Guinness Book of World Records all the time. And if you get a chance, look up the limousine that's in Guinness Book of World Records. It's got like a helicopter landing pad, swimming pool, all this different shit. And I used to think it was the coolest thing ever. Well, anyways, I used to know these Guinness books from back to back. And when I seen this, I thought it was BS. So I looked deeper into it. And these were documented lightning strikes. Like every time there was witnesses around. I don't know if you guys heard, there was once a baseball team, and I can't remember, I know it was multiple, I think it was like 4 to 6 people. They were out playing baseball, lightning hit the ground and killed like 4 or 6 players all at once.
Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, it ain't nothing to play with. When I'm out and I see lightning, I tell my wife, let's go. Even when I'm fishing, you know.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to the lady. If you guys see lightning, man, stay off the beach. So I came across something that I felt was sad, interesting, and just ridiculous all at once. So African migrants are being smuggled in mattresses. They're bringing in new mattresses that have been gutted, and people are literally one by one hiding in these mattresses and traveling and sneaking into first world countries. Let me tell you immediately what my opinion is as a whole. I feel bad for them. There's other people like, oh, they're criminals. They need to come into the country the right way. Look, have you guys looked up the crime rate in the Congo? Have you looked up the crime rate down in South America, in Mexico? Those people are scared to death down there. Have you seen the cartel videos in Mexico? Would you want your children growing up around that? Would you do anything you could to get out of it? With these, think about this. If you're willing to go through that, if you're willing to get put in a mattress and smuggled for God knows how long, you must have been in a bad situation before that. And for me, I feel sympathetic that they even got to go through that process to get into our country, you know.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to get everybody's opinion here, but let me just say this. Anybody that argues on the side of immigration always points out that in America, right on the Statue of Liberty, it says, give us your, I don't know the exact words, but give us your tired, hungry, and your needy. Okay, basically saying, come on, if you're in need, come to America. Secondly, let's be clear, folks, and I want y'all to hear me on this. If you go back to 1900, 1920, you know who was the majority of people sneaking into America? Italians, Greeks, people from over in that area, okay? In other words, people of white descent that were from other countries. And now it's a lot of people of that same background that don't like to see blacks and Hispanics sneaking into the country. But folks, that's what America was built on. You know, we were built on immigration. I mean, let's face it. When the Pilgrims pulled up and looked at the American Indians and said, hey, we discovered this, they were illegal immigrants. Let's just be clear.
Hey, that's right. That's facts.
You know, but what do you think? You know, honest, and I want everybody to give an honest take on this. You're in another country, it's a war zone, or there's a famine, or whatever, and you want to come to America or UK, but there's a lengthy process to get in, and your option is break the law and try to sneak in or potentially die.
Well, I'm sneaking in, you know. I don't give a damn. Especially if I got a family, I got kids, I got people starving at home. There ain't no way I can just sit around and just be cool with that.
Who wouldn't? You know, what do you think, Ray?
Exact process.
Oh, you got to break the law because the process. I've known some people that took 20 years just to get a citizenship.
And a lot can happen in 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years too late.
A lot can happen in 1 year.
Well, that's
you
a
know?
life sentence.
Yeah.
20 years.
I mean, guys, it always blows my mind because the folks that'll get on to immigration, they'll say this and that, but then they'll look at these cartel videos. That's so horrible. How did they let that happen in that country? I agree. But there's people living in that, and they want to get out, and they're willing to do whatever they got to do to get out. So I just think the fact that it's so difficult to get in. Look, I get it. We can't just let everybody in, but the minute we stop caring about other countries and other people, I think we fold as a country.
Well, I think love thy neighbors should transfer to that.
Yeah.
Should transfer to neighboring countries, neighboring states, all that. We need to do a better job and make a better system for people coming over here. What if we weren't allowed to go to other countries?
Well, that's and folks bring that up often, that other countries do have strict penalties. Some do, but I can tell you, there's been many a case where first world countries have had problems and have been accepted by their neighbors, refugees accepted, etc. So, give back, man. That's all I'm saying. And to be fair, most of America seems to get it, but there's some that really don't. And I think it's a shame. The biggest news for us this week, because we talked about this situation and this person a couple weeks back. Gypsy Rose was recently released from prison. Okay. Now, for some people, she's controversial. I will say that most people seem sympathetic to her because I went on the comments and, you may say, well, Face, the comments don't tell the story. Well, I disagree. You can get an idea of American opinion by reading comment sections,
Yeah.
I mean, straight up. When Kaepernick was kneeling, you seen a bunch of people, so I knew America wasn't happy about it. With Gypsy Rose, I'm seeing a lot of people saying, hey, I'm glad she's out. She should have never went to prison. I hope she has a good life. And I can agree with that. I can. I just add on that her boyfriend is in jail for life. And she was just as responsible for the death. She didn't wield the knife, but she pushed the buttons.
Well,
that wielded the
some
knife.
people's argument was that there's no way she didn't know that he was going to go do that.
Well, she did know.
You know what I'm saying? She knew what it was going to do,
Well, look, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but they had sex in the room beside her mom. Not like the same room, the room beside. Right after her mother was murdered. She knew her mother was laying in there dead, and she's in there having.
Well, I'm conflicted, because she did deal with this from birth, pretty much.
She did.
I'm wondering how many years of abuse psychologically.
The mental aspect of it, she was screwed on. That prison might not have been the answer, but definitely rehabilitating her.
She had to go do something.
She had to do something.
She couldn't have got off scot-free for
But I agree. Mentally, you got to think that she was broke up pretty bad. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say the guy, in my opinion, but the guy kind of just, the reason I think the guy should have life is because he kind of just came in. He wasn't the one kind of dealing with
he's got
what she was.
He wasn't mentally.
Yeah, he
That's
was.
a good point.
He just hopped in and said, well, let's kind of just pretty much kill her.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
How long was she in there? What was the total time?
She did 8 years.
Yeah.
She did 8 years.
I guess that seems appropriate.
I'll say this. Her mother had Munchausen syndrome, okay, which, look, when you're abusing a child all their life, it's hard for me to feel sympathy for you on any level. It's hard for me, even if you are mentally ill. I still have a little bit of difficulty. I'm not going to go too deep, but, my mother had her imperfections, and but I knew she loved me. In spite of some of the shit that I got put through, I knew she loved me. And I would have never wanted to hurt her, Gypsy Rose, it came out in court that basically she was sitting in another room when the stabbing started, and when he stabbed the mom in the back the first time, the mom sat up and said, ow, just like that. And she said when she heard her mom say that, she almost ran in and said, stop. But then, she just let it go. But look, I know people aren't going to like me feeling anything for the mother. I just think it's a fucked up whole situation. The mother was mentally ill. What she did was horrible. Listen, I'm not taking nothing from her. I would have rather seen her sent to prison and maybe had a chance to one day rehabilitate than to be murdered. But it is what it is.
Makes you wonder what her childhood was like.
Well, yeah. I mean, was her mom that way?
Right.
You know, and
a generational thing, perhaps.
they say abuse is a cycle, right? And you know, I don't want to obviously get too deep, but do you feel you had a great childhood coming up?
Yeah, I had a good. Yeah, me and my parents, we were fine growing up. I had an anger problem growing up and stuff, but other than that, you know,
Pretty good.
It was pretty good, yeah.
See, and that's, you know, from the outside, like I said, with my mother, I had some issues, and there was some stuff when I tell people, like, I'm writing my autobiography as we speak, and people are reading it, and they're like, damn, I can't believe your mother did that. But understand something, I knew she was sick, and she had went through trauma herself, so I tried not to hold too much of a grudge. You know, it's a complicated situation, and I'll tell y'all, in some of these scenarios, it's not always black and white. You know, it's just a bad situation all the way around. Here's the question. Can Gypsy Rose now have a normal life? What do y'all think?
Not that keep making memes.
Nah, I don't know.
They keep making. You seen the memes they're making?
No.
They're like all these like restaurants and bars and stuff from around the country are like, yo, Gypsy stopped in, and they Photoshop her in the picture.
What?
Like with food in her hand and stuff.
She's just gonna be recognized when she goes outside. I mean, that's.
Have you seen her Instagram?
Yeah.
It's going crazy right now.
Really?
I feel like it's gonna like mentally mess her up, even though, you know, she already had to. Well, I mean, you know,
it's gonna be
social media,
overwhelming.
Yeah,
it's gonna be overwhelming.
especially after being in prison for as many years as she was.
She may not be able to handle being in the spotlight
She's
that
not
well.
going to go to Target, Walmart. No, you see her Instagram?
6.2 million.
Look at the likes on her first selfie post that she posted.
That's insanity.
There's actual celebrities liking this post. Like,
well, you know, look, I'll say it again. I'm not angry that she's out. Please don't misunderstand me, okay? I would have loved to see a way for this to work where nobody died. That's all I'm saying, okay? It brings me to another story. Have you guys heard the story of Natalia Grace? She was a little person, okay?
I don't think I've heard that story.
A little bit about it.
So she was a little person. So check this out. So there was a movie that came out in 2009, and it was about a couple that adopts a child. All right, and the child's supposed to be like 8 years old. Blah 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 blah. They find out it was actually a little person and was 30-some years old, and she was a killer. Fast forward, right around that time, this little girl, Natalia Grace, gets adopted. She was a little person. Okay, well, the couple that adopted her were fucking lunatics, and they watched that movie, and they started saying, "Oh, she's a grown-up. She's not a little girl. She's a grown-up," because she came from Russia. And in fairness, at first there was a little trouble finding her birth certificate and stuff, but still. So these people actually start going to different experts trying to get her age bumped up. So finally, they get one doctor to say, "No, she's actually 22," when she was 8. Right?
Oh my gosh. She was actually 8.
She was 8. It's been proven.
Okay, all right.
It's been proven. But now, check it. They get an apartment, leave the little girl, and move to Canada. Gave the little 8-year-old girl an apartment and said, "Here, you're a grown-up." So the little girl now, mind you, the people of the neighborhood had already been poisoned and told, this isn't a little girl, she's 20-some years old. Well, she was 8, so she don't know nothing about grocery shopping, she knows nothing about nothing. So she's sneaking into people's apartments, stealing food, whatever she can do. And people are like, "Oh, she's an evil little girl, she's this and that," because they thought she was 22. Well, finally, tests were done, and her biological mother over in Russia was located. And they proved, no, she was the age that everybody thought she was originally.
They should have been charged with a crime.
They were.
Yeah, they
were.
should have been.
They were charged with child abandonment. And I think they're both on their way to trial, I believe. Or no, the wife is, I think the husband got probation or some shit, which is bullshit. But just imagine, you abandon a little 8-year-old girl.
That you wanted.
Right.
You wanted a kid, and then you get the kid, and then you do everything you can to get out of having the kid.
Well, it's even sicker because there's these message exchanges between the husband and the wife. They're like, hey, we got her declared as an adult. Now we can leave her. Let's go celebrate tonight. And like they're texting this, talking about going and celebrating, abandoning this child.
Now you
So
can celebrate in prison with
yeah,
Hitch.
but listen, the point being, guys, that child had a rough life, and now I was telling my wife last night because we were watching, it was called Natalia Speaks, basically, and I told my wife, I said, she had it rough, but now she's going to be on talk shows everywhere. She's going to get rich off of it. I'm not saying that's going to heal her wounds, but at least her life will be better.
You see what happened to the Cash Me Outside girl? One
Yeah.
episode of Dr. Phil, and now
Yeah.
she's a millionaire.
She's a millionaire. Yeah. I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
Nah, hey, we need you on the podcast, man.
Yeah,
cash us on the podcast.
Cash you in here,
Yeah, real.
I mean, what do you think of her blowing up off of that one episode of Dr. Phil?
Dr. Phil, I think he knows what the hell is really going on, right?
Yeah.
Because he knows he's going to get clout off of this.
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
bringing these people on. You see the one where he brought those kids on that were licking ice cream?
Yeah,
And they were putting it back? Come on,
yeah.
man.
Well, he knows. He
Yeah,
knows.
yeah.
And I mean, look, did you see where she told him? She was like, oh, afterwards, she was like, your show's only big because of me.
Which I
disagree.
Phil, you know?
Right, yeah. But I mean, I'm actually happy for the girl. She's big time. Last I checked, because I'm always checking celebrity net worths. I'm not a money obsessor. I just find it interesting seeing, what they've made in their career. And that girl's worth like $40 million.
That's $40 million more than me.
Yeah.
So.
Shout out to what's her name?
Bad Baby, right?
Danielle Bergoli.
Yeah.
Danielle
Oh, that's
Bergoli. Shout out to Miss Bergoli,
That's a
y'all.
rap name that I
Bad baby, yeah.
Bad Baby.
Catch me outside.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of Instagram celebrities, Julio Folio. Does everybody at the table know who
I know
Julio
that.
Folio
Yeah,
is?
you broke it down before.
So he's a Jacksonville rapper. He was involved, if you get a chance, look up Jacksonville gang wars. They were involved in these back and forth killings. Him and another guy named Younging Ace were the heads of it. They never actually got charged with anything. But anyways, he got shot coming out of the hospital.
Damn.
A while back, okay? They caught him coming out the hospital and lit him up. Well, he found out that the nurse from the hospital had called his ops and said, he's getting out, come get him, okay? Which she's been arrested,
Well, of course.
you know,
You need to be for that.
And,
Was that conspiracy?
yeah, it's conspiracy, yeah. Then he found out that he found the interrogation of the dude that shot him on YouTube. And he's been watching that and shit. But look, Folio has been shot multiple times. He's had multiple attempts on his life. I know of 3 incidents right now where they shot his car up while he was in it. Son, when are you going to get out the game? Or do you want to die? Like, can you guys think of any reason why this man is still in the heart of Jacksonville and still stroking the fire?
Unless that man is bringing in unbelievable amounts of money, there's no way.
Get the fuck out of there.
And even then, I'd have to still relocate and just try to rebuild or something, because your life is not going to be worth the money you make.
Young and Ace, I'll say this, Young and Ace, who was his op, did that. He left Jacksonville. He's in Houston now, making money, making videos, but he's not in the kill zone.
You think most rappers that blow up like that have to leave their hometowns?
Yeah, I think, listen, y'all. I lived in some of the worst neighborhoods in Pittsburgh. Shout out to Homewood. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I lived out in Van Buren in Phoenix. I lived on 1999 up in Cleveland. Y'all know what I'm talking about, Bone Thugs. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. In those neighborhoods, if you're known to have money, they're coming for you.
Yeah.
They are coming for you. And there's guys, if you're known to even have some clout or some fame, that'll come and knock you off just to say they did it. The guy that killed Tupac, Orlando, literally for a year after that would go to barbecues and shit. People like, yo, that's the nigga that smoked Tupac. What's up, bro? Blah, 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 dapping him up. And he got a lot of clout off of that. And guys will kill a celeb just for that reason. Let alone if there's a real beef, okay? And in this case, there was a real legit beef there. I told y'all about PNB Rock. And y'all can, well, you can't check it because Scarface and Street Stories don't exist anymore. But I bet you we can find this clip. I predicted when PNB Rock got shot, it was the day after, and we did a story.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
And nobody could figure out who shot him or why. And I nailed it to the letter. I said, I'm going to tell y'all what happened. I said, somebody was standing by the store or coming in or out of the store, happened to see his car and his jewelry and suited up and came after him. And that's exactly what happened. A young dude was out there. He peeped him, said, yo, I'm going to get my pops. Went, got dude, came back and robbed him. Now, why he thought it was good to shoot him in the middle of Roscoe's is crazy to me. But the point is, if you're a celebrity, you got a target on your back, you know. Look at Pac. Pac was shot 5 times the first time, robbing him. Then they shot him a second time. Old Dirty Bastard was shot. 50 Cent was shot. Bunch of these new age rappers been shot. They murdered Young Dolph. Get out the hood, y'all.
Well, you don't see these rappers now walking around with chains in the hood and driving his car. You don't see 50 Cent going through his old hood with all of his chains on and
You'd be a fool.
Yeah, and he knows that.
If you're Rich Rig, do you get security or not?
You either get security or you get out from where you was.
Yeah.
One of the two, you know, or you know, move to a neighborhood where they ain't robbing celebrities.
I'm hiring 6'9" security if I ever get big.
Yeah, because I
ain't been touched yet.
I still don't know how he's living, you know, but I mean, look, honestly, guys, I just say any young rapper, and I know they're probably not going to hear what I'm saying, but man, it ain't worth your life. Get out of that area, bro. So a single mother comes home to something being stolen. Her driveway. They stole her entire driveway. Okay? I don't know what we're doing these days. They stole her driveway.
Is there a law about that? What's the...
I hope there is.
What did they gain?
I guess they wanted the asphalt.
It is. I'm sure it's expensive.
Yeah.
But damn, like, I'm speechless.
How long do you think that took?
That's what I'm saying.
They must have got there in the middle of the night and just started getting at it.
Look, as an ex-crook, I always used to look at jobs like, okay, how much time do I got to put into this versus how much I'm going to make? I can't see this being a viable sting, okay? I could be wrong.
Yeah, that doesn't seem very lucrative.
Have any of y'all ever dealt with asphalt before?
Nah.
Not in that regard, no.
Well, what do y'all think it is? Do you think this was profitable?
Fuck no.
No way.
That had to be some crackheads.
Yeah, I mean, come
I
on.
don't.
That had to have been, yeah, they had to have been born. They must have been bad off, man.
Well, at least a catalytic converter you can snatch off in a couple minutes, and you know.
The asphalt's just over.
Would you buy it though if they brought it to you? It was like, hey,
What, the asphalt?
yeah.
Man, I'm gonna look at them like they're fucking nuts, dude. Are you serious?
They just out here trying to make a bag, man.
Well, they made a bag of asphalt, you know, but hey, listen, we're gonna go in, guys, to our new section that's kind of not new anymore. Songs we love and hate, movies we love and hate. I'm going to set it off today, and I want to talk today about a song that I happen to love, and it used to get the club jumping. Nelly, E.I. Now look, they all too young. Don't even, you know, don't worry about them. But people my age, you remember when that motherfucking song, when Nelly said, "Oi," at the beginning, club went crazy, bass kicked in. Nelly always had lots of style. Remember the dark-skinned chick that was dancing with him in the video? Whew. Look, whole thing was lit. Shout out to Nelly, he's a legend. Do y'all even know who Nelly is?
I know that.
Yeah.
Heard of.
Okay, well, that
My
makes me
song is
happy.
actually from Nelly, not to keep it on that subject.
So we got another Nelly song. That's awesome. I happen to love Nelly. I think he's a legend from the early 2K. And shout out to him and the St. Lunatics. I hope y'all are doing good, right? I'm going to give you another movie that I happen to love, and it's going to be right down the same vein of what I went through last week. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Predator. All right. I believe that the original Predator is the greatest gathering of tough guys in a movie, okay? Movie tough guys. You had Arnold, Jesse Ventura, Carl Weathers, Bill Duke. You had all these tough guys in the video, right? And special forces, they all had the cool gear. They go out into the jungle and they getting their ass whooped by this alien, gunned down systematically.
You can't beat the Predator. Have you seen the fucking abilities that thing has?
Yeah, the Predator, he was
ridiculous.
I mean, Arnold in the end though, Arnold was nice. So Arnold dips himself in mud so the Predator's infrared couldn't see him. He hides in the mud, comes out, takes the Predator out, you know. And the Predator at the end has a self-destruct button on him. So he knows he's dying. He hits that button and starts laughing. So Arnold has to run to the helicopter. But just one of the all-time greats. If you're young, I'm telling you, go watch the original Predator. It's the shiznit. What you got, son?
My song I'm conflicted about by Nelly. It's called Grills.
Okay.
Now look, you want to know why I'm conflicted, right? Because he has a line in it that says, rob the jewelry store, have him make me a grill. First of all, why would you do that? Who the hell is robbing the jewelry? Hey, Nelly, I gotta ask you. Who robs the jewelry store and gets a grill made?
Well, look.
I fuck with the song other than that line.
Okay, but did you like the general theme of the song?
I did, getting blinged out, but that line, that's in violation. I just gotta say it.
Well, the ultimate nitpicker here, let me say this, okay? Back in the early 2K, diamond-studded, pimped-out grills were the craze, and for the record, just for the record, there was guys that had so many rubies and diamonds in their grill that you may be talking about a couple $1 million.
Yeah.
So if you go in and stick up the jewelry man, make him sit there a couple hours and make you a multi-million-dollar grill. Nelly, I'm just giving you the benefit of the doubt. Truthfully, I agree.
I just think it'd be easier to go in there and slip on a chain, man.
And just roll out.
Just roll on out. Get you a few Rolexes.
I agree. What you got for us movie-wise?
So a movie that I like is more of a series, right? When I was a kid, I used to watch The Matrix a lot. And hey, look, Keanu Reeves. When I was young when I first seen it, so I was like, man, the whole world's fake. So I grew up. Obviously the world's not fake. So I like Keanu Reeves in those movies. Anything he's in is good. So
Keanu's one of the better actors.
He's humble too.
He is.
He is super humble, man.
Well, he was actually spotted riding a city bus, right?
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of people like, can I take a picture with you? Sure, man, come on. Took a bunch of pictures, very down to earth. Shout out to Keanu. You guys will murder me for this, but I've only watched the first Matrix. That's it. Were the other ones even good?
Yeah, the first 3 were good. And I think they were talking about doing a 4th one, like a new one, like in today's age. They better not do that.
Nah. Well, look, because what I've seen, most of the remakes are Garbino.
Yep.
Okay, but based on my son's review, I am going to go watch the other Matrixes, and I will be back in a few weeks to give my review on them. Better be good, sucker.
Nah, it is.
What you got, son?
Speaking of clubs, parties, functions, whatever you want to call it, this is the New Age song, and if it's not played at the function, I'm not going. It's by Meek Mill. It's called Dreams and Nightmares.
Oh, I've heard
it. I like it.
Yeah.
I like
It's
it.
played at every function nowadays, and I mean, it gets everybody lit.
I don't even need to ask you what you like about it because it's one of the few new songs that I fuck with.
Yeah.
Like the beats are.
A lot of people thought Drake killed Meek Mill's career, but he's still going.
Meek Mill's still
he's
doing
still
it.
going,
He's
man.
still doing it.
He did go into hiding there for a little bit, though.
Drake's nice on the mic, but he's kind of girly with his nitpicking sometimes,
Feminine.
Yeah. What do you got for a movie, son?
So, Man in the Mirror brought it up last week. It was the movie they said they loved, Leave the World Behind.
Did you watch it?
I watched it. but I hate it.
Really?
You know why? I really hate when cliffhangers are in a movie, you know. It just cuts off when it gets real suspenseful, you know. Worst cliffhanger I've ever seen. That's all I'll say. I don't want to spoil it to y'all if y'all haven't watched it.
They set it up like there was going to be maybe a second one?
I hope so. Netflix.
Because if not...
Oh, it's a Netflix thing?
Yeah,
There's not going to be a second one.
Yeah.
Netflix, the fuck is y'all doing, yo?
It pissed me off so bad. I watched it 2 nights ago, and I was baffled.
Man in the mirror, we looking at you, yo. You put us onto this shit. We need answers.
That's why you have him on the podcast today.
Yeah, you know. Now, Big Rig, I'm going to put him on the spot. This is his first day. You got any songs you love or hate?
One song I'd probably always listen to, either Mad, Happy, or whatever, would be the Ghetto Boys' Mind Playing Tricks on Me.
Hey.
I like that.
You said you're 26?
24.
You see that? He took it back in time on y'all. Okay, Mind Playing Tricks on Me. Well, first of all, why do you like the song?
It's just one of those ones, like I said, Mad, Happy. You can listen to it anytime, working out, chilling.
I agree.
One of them songs.
Are you familiar with the song?
Love that song, man.
Yeah. So at the end, Bushwick Bill, rest in peace to the legend Bushwick Bill, had one of the most vivid stories of all time in that song. Tells a story about how he's robbing kids on Halloween. Then this big giant dude comes out of nowhere. They start jumping him, beating him up. Then he wakes up and he's just punching concrete. And there's not Halloween, none of that. He's just beating concrete. And in the video, it shows him, his hands are all mangled, and they put him in the ambulance. Just a vivid story, you know. Definitely one of my favorites, too. See, young people can have good taste in music. It's possible. What about your movie, brother?
So I got 2 movies. My all-time favorites got to be Step Brothers with Will Ferrell,
Yeah.
Riley.
I like
But Pain and Gain, that become one of my new ones with The Rock and Mark Wahlberg and on, because that helped me lose weight.
Do you know that movie was actually based on true events?
Yeah. It's insane.
Have you guys seen Pain and Gain?
I'm not.
That's Mark
Listen,
Wahlberg.
No, I'm fucking up. But
you guys are going to get a lot of recommendations. I'm begging you, go watch Pain and Gain. It's got The Rock.
It's got The Rock and Mark Wahlberg.
Mark
They're good together.
Wahlberg.
And the
Yeah. You have to watch it. Trust me. So good choices, my brother. Take a guess what I'm going to start with. Just take a guess.
The Cowboys.
So, hey, don't ever say that in my presence. Hey, look, Lamar Jackson, because we actually missed 2 weeks here because of the holidays. Lamar Jackson has wrapped up the MVP race, in case y'all hadn't heard. Now, there's fools out there that keep saying, well, his statistics, Brock Purdy's statistics are better, and so is Josh Allen's. Josh Allen is on a fucking 9-17. Let's start with that. As far as Brock Purdy goes, when they played head-to-head, Lamar, who was also playing against the top 5 defense, threw for like a 108 quarterback rating. Brock Purdy threw for 4 interceptions. Okay, so that kind of ended that debate right there. But if that wasn't enough, Lamar turned around the following week against their AFC leader, Miami Dolphins, and dropped 5 touchdowns on them. Okay, so, and had a perfect passer rating, by the way. So I think Lamar wins the MVP. The reason I'm bringing it up, I want to ask y'all. A, do you think he should win it? And this is a loaded question. I'm just going to warn you. Do you think he should win it? If not, why?
No, he should. Have you seen the warpath that man has been on?
Yeah.
Slaughtered the Dolphins, first of all. Just absolutely got him out of here. You know?
So I want to hear Justice's take because I feel it will be different.
So, I mean, Brock Purdy, he's good, but he is a rookie. You know, he definitely has years to develop. He'll get an MVP down the road. You know, but Lamar, who's doing it better right now, other than Christian McCaffrey? That's the only hot take that I've heard about it. But I think Lamar has it this year.
I think he's got it locked. You a big NFL fan?
Yeah, I'm Baltimore all the way.
Shit. Then you.
Yeah.
Rig, I ain't know you was Baltimore. See, I'm gonna be tagging him in my post now. You're gonna be blew up as a Ravens fan. Listen, here's where people get it wrong. Several people, I had a dude today from the Bills say, well, man, you know Josh Allen's stats, blah, blah, blah. Is it called most best stat guy award? Or is it called most valuable player? Okay, here's the truth, guys. Check it. Josh Allen must not be too valuable because his team's only 9-7, and if they lose Sunday, they're not going to be in the playoffs. So get him out of there. As far as Brock Purdy goes, Brock Purdy is on a loaded team. The San Francisco 49ers are going to send more Pro Bowlers to the league this year than anybody. You take Brock Purdy off that team, they're probably still going to win 10 games. You take Lamar Jackson off the Ravens, well, we seen that last year, and we sucked. So it's most valuable player, and nobody's more valuable to their team than Lamar Jackson, just so y'all know.
I watched his draft night. I couldn't believe they went so low.
I was grateful, and I was sitting there praying. I was like, please let us take him. Please let us take him. Because we'd already drafted Hayden Hurts, and sure enough, we traded up and took him, and I think it'll go down as the best draft pick for us ever, you know.
Yeah.
In other news with the NFL, and we'll just pick one other team and talk about it, we got the Kansas City Chiefs, who have been the big dogs on the block for so long. It's funny, Chiefs fans, they were in danger of not even making the playoffs. And now they got the 3 seed basically because everybody else sucks. And I seen Chiefs fans, man, we're going to the Super Bowl this year. Well, let's be clear, y'all are like 10-7, right?
Yeah.
You barely lucked up in a trash division.
Patrick Mahomes, he's been throwing a lot of drop passes.
A lot of picks.
It's because of Kadarius Toney.
He been fucking up.
Well, look, I'll say this. He has had a lot of drop passes. His receivers have been trashed this year. I'm not going to take that from Mahomes. Here's what I will take from him. Lamar has had one of the worst receiving corps in the NFL for several years. When he won in 2019, his lead receiver was Willie Snead. Who the fuck is Willie Snead? Okay?
Yeah, I don't know.
So the point is, when Lamar had no receivers, he still won MVP. When Pat Mahomes has no receivers, we get this.
That's because Lamar running back too.
Right. Well, and now I want to reply to that real quick. You know, look, I don't get offended when people say he's a running back. Lamar this year, people said, well, he don't lead in any stat. No, he's in the top 10 for rushing. And he's in the top 10 for passing.
You know you can't even tackle that dude either. I've seen people try to sack that man. It's impossible.
Well, Aaron Donald this year played him for the Rams, and Lamar Jackson is the only quarterback that Aaron Donald has not sacked. And in that game, he came so close like 4 times, and Lamar's like Houdini. Just couldn't get him, dude. You know?
You need a QB that can do everything, though.
For real.
Real quick, what's y'all's Super Bowl picks? Who's meeting in the Super Bowl?
I say Baltimore and 49ers.
Yeah, I got the Ravens on one side, but the Eagles' fall off needs to be studied.
Yeah, how does that happen?
Yeah, they fell off hard.
4 or 5 games in a row, wasn't it? I don't know if the Eagles are even in it. I have the Niners as well.
Yeah, that would.
Now, I will say to y'all, it's very rare that 2 1 seeds meet in the Super Bowl. It's rare, but it does happen. I'd like to see it.
Everybody else is just mediocre compared to them. Like, they're just on a different level.
Well, yeah, because San Francisco, they stomped the Cowboys. They stomped the Eagles. Who in the NFC is going to beat them? Who's going to beat them? And as far as my Ravens, we've stomped everybody in the AFC. Who's going to beat us? I don't know if you guys seen that Jim Harbaugh is playing in the national championship game with not playing, he's coaching Michigan in the national championship game. Now, you guys are probably too young to remember that Jim and John met in the Super Bowl. They're back in 2012. Well, here we go. Now we may have John in the Super Bowl and Jim in the national championship game in the same year.
Oh, shit.
Can you guys imagine family greatness like that?
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's like the Mannings, right?
Yeah.
You know, having multiple brothers in the NFL as quarterbacks. So
Both of them.
Now ask yourself this. You got Michigan facing
Bama?
no, it's Washington, the Washington Huskies in the national championship game. Who y'all got?
Didn't they just play Bama?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Honestly, Bama's always been a tough team. I got Michigan going all the way.
I think Michigan stomps the Huskies. Personally, that's my opinion. What do you think, Ray?
I think they're going to ride that high from that win and take it all the way.
Michigan making up for the Lions, ain't they?
I just love to see that Harbaugh excellence. You know, they ran him. It's crazy. He took the 49ers to several took him to several NFC championship games in the Super Bowl. Then they ran him out of town. How How stupid can you be? How many of you guys know who the young female college basketball player Caitlin Clark is? You guys don't watch
Never
it.
heard of him.
Okay. Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Yep.
W.
Yep. So Caitlin Clark, she plays for Iowa. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not big into female college basketball, but I do, when I see a big story, I like to follow the game. So she had a buzzer beater shot the other night. Okay, and I'm gonna have Nate splice this in. She shoots the buzzer beater. All right, now this has happened multiple times on the screen. You're showing the time clock, and the time clock on the screen expired. But you can clearly hear in the game the time clock beeps right after she shoots. So there was this big controversy that she didn't beat the clock and the shot shouldn't have counted. But the refs actually went back and reviewed the cameras, reviewed everything, said no, the point's good, they win.
Well, that's it.
That's it,
That's
right?
it.
Except no, there's a bunch of people still hating on the girl online, and we see this all the time, right? If we're going to put the refs in, and I'm not saying refs can't make mistakes, they can, but in the end, their decision's final. We can bitch about it, but the refs put it up on the screen and showed how the in-game clock hadn't expired yet. Why do people always look for conspiracies in sports? I just don't understand it. Do you guys have a favorite female sports star?
I have no idea.
The only one I know is Sue Bird.
So I like Sue Bird.
Sue
I
Bird's
do.
nice. She's nice. Use her in 2K.
I like Candace Parker for the WNBA. My favorite female athlete ever, Ann Wolfe. The best female knockout in boxing of all time.
Yeah, that was sad.
We got to show y'all that in the clips here. And I also like Layla Ali. Shout out to Layla.
There was a man in Akron, Ohio, right? He showed up to the hospital with a gunshot wound to the face, right?
Okay.
So he gives a breakdown because he lived through that. Obviously, he made it through. He gave a breakdown. He said some random guy, and the guy's name is actually Melvin Wright, 42-year-old Melvin Wright.
Right.
He approached him outside of some store, I guess, and because the dude was standing there eating chips, he comes up to him and he confronts him about something, and then he asked him if he'd share his chips with him, and when he said no, he shot him for it.
What?
Shot him right in the face because he would not share his chips.
Dude lived though.
Yeah, dude lived, but you know that's how that went down.
That actually is right up there with the stupidest reasons I've ever heard for shooting somebody.
Yep.
There's an old mythical tale of, can't remember the outlaw, but you can look this up. An outlaw that shot a dude for snoring too loud. Okay?
Yeah.
He woke him up twice and said, "You're snoring too loud, shut the fuck up." Dude kept snoring, he woke him up to make sure he was awake and then shot him and killed him. I mean, listen, anger management, guys, like, what are we doing, you know?
That guy should not have been allowed to have a gun at all.
Over a bag of chips is crazy.
No, I mean, come on, dude. And look, I talk about this all the time. Americans, look, on the one hand, I love that we have the right to bear arms. I do. On the other hand, I think that there should still be a few more restrictions because there's nut jobs out here that look, y'all. Much love to all the fighters from Street Beefs, but we've had a couple nut jobs cross our path. And just at Neutral Corner, we've had a couple nut jobs cross our path. I cannot imagine. There was one in particular that's on my mind that I actually told my wife, I said, can you believe that guy right now, if he wanted to, can go into a gun store and buy an AR-15? He should not be allowed to. He's mentally unstable. And you may say, well, is he diagnosed mentally unstable? Look, we all know that sometimes craziness falls through the cracks.
A lot of the time.
A lot of the time, right? You know, I don't want to take away our Second Amendment rights per se, but damn, man, we got to do better, you know?
Come on, man. Over some chips, that's bold.
Big Rig, did you have guns and stuff growing up?
Nah, we really didn't have guns in the house, but once I got older and stuff and I seen what happened with like people committing and a lot of homicide happening, a lot of the times if the gun's not there, nobody dies. And so that's the way I try to look at it.
Well, and it's the sad truth, you know. A lot of guys that are really, really into guns, they don't want to hear that stat. I know my son and my wife, they all are big into guns, and listen, I support it. I will say to you, technically the statistic is if you have a gun in the house, you're 50% as likely to die by that gun. Okay? I think that stat applies to a lot of idiots. I think that goes for people that are accidentally themselves or shooting other people, or for people who commit, and I don't say that lightly. I just think that if you're sensible and know how to use a firearm, you'll be okay. Hey, well, listen, y'all. Great episode today. I want to thank Big Rig for coming on, man. Before we go, do you got any social media you want them to follow you on?
Yeah, you can follow him on Instagram. It's the_Big Rig 64.
We're going to post that on the screen. Thank you for coming on. When you fighting again, or do you know?
I'm just waiting. I'm going to wait it out and train a little bit.
Well, we're hoping Big Rig comes into neutral corner regularly. It was an honor to have him. Listen, sometimes the world gets nasty and you got to at the world, bust it down, and keep it pushing. We love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.